first of all?
Name is David Jeremita.
And security, take your date of birth.
090578.
And the letter you received, what's the amount of money on it?
The alleged debt, 944.83 £.
And can I take the date the letter was issued?
The letter, yeah, it wasn't written, was it? It was issued. Yeah, it appears that way. 17th of March.
And the year?
The year, 2017.
That's it, the first line of your address for our records.
That would be, can I not give you a, wait there then, 1 minute, sir. This is, need to be confirmed. The address. The telephone won't be recorded for legal reasons, so I'm aware of that. Yeah, it's for legal purposes. That's why I need to record the call, sir. You've informed me.
I don't want you to record me.
It's audio recording only. It's not going to be put into the public domain. It's going to be used as material evidence. That's all.
No, I don't want it recorded. If you don't stop recording, I'll terminate the call.
Okay, then I'll stop recording the call. Why may I ask, am I doing this?
I'm asking you.
But that's not a lawful request, is it, or a legal request? This is a personal request, yes? For me to continue...
Have you stopped recording, or?
Yes, I've stopped recording, but I'd like to know why I had to stop.
Because I've asked.
But what? So did we agree? You understand? There's no legislation or policy. It's your personal request for me to have stopped recording.
I'm asking you to stop it.
It has been stopped. Yes, I want to continue with dealing with the public servant, and I choose to inform you of UCC code here, which is what you're governed by, 1-308. I do not want to perform under any non-disclosed contracts that are not given to me. I want to proceed with this call as a customer, yes, as a public member, taxpayer. You're a public servant operating as a company, so I'm abiding by unilateral company codes. I'm a paralegal investigator as well as one of your customers. That is why I act the way I do, sir, because I'm familiar with contract law and employment law. So anyway, yes, what else would you like from me? The call has been stopped. We'd like to continue. I've come in with an inquiry.
Yeah.
Come on.
I can see you phoning from the mobile we hold for you. How can I help you?
How can you help me? So you understand by me using 1-308 as your calls are recorded, I've given you some details there of a person of which you just asked for. In order for me, the flesh and blood, to obtain any kind of correspondence with this corporate entity known as the Department for Work and Pensions, I have to satisfy your data information requests under contract law, joinder, tacit, tort and adhesion. So that has been done, but that has been done and you've recorded that. I have served you notices previously about my person. That would be Mr. David Jeremita, the person who I've just used unified commercial codes to indemnify myself against any further action from this corporate entity, and the operations manager Elaine Ockwell. You need to know that I have claimed my person by notice of Theresa May. I have a copy of my notice that was served to the Home Secretary at the time via a statutory declaration on an affidavit and a notice of intent. So I don't intend to commit my time to writing letters to your company. I don't wish to contract. I have put you on notice and served you. I have claimed my person. You don't have any contractual jurisdiction or authority to deal with my person. You're going to take some money from my person's wages, but I'm the living man earning that money. So it's just this is called a customer ringing up. He's his provider. You are the government, but you're a corporate entity or governed by contract law as a corporate fiction registered on Dun & Bradstreet. So your operations manager Elaine is giving your company the authority under legislation to take money from a person's wages. I class this as theft. I'd like a copy of the liability order sending out to me, or I'd like to do a subject access request, or I'd like to do an freedom of information request on the company's data that you have on my person, and I'd like it sending out in order for me to put in a counterclaim against you. Is what this is about.
You can do a subject access request.
Is that something you recognise under the UCC guidelines and can facilitate for me? I'd really appreciate that, because I'm.
I'll give you the information for that. Just bear with me.
Yes, thank you, sir. It's alright, but it's no problem. And there's one more question.
Okay, let's put the request in writing, and second. Okay, so you need to put the request in writing with your full name, address, national insurance number, and your date of birth.
Yeah, I've got all that.
Yeah, and along with any other, I'll read out what it says here, and any other departmental identifiers. Any like reference numbers on the letters?
Departmental identifiers. A national insurance number is everything you reference the person by, I think. But
yeah, that'll bring it up in our system. So it should specifically request what information you require.
Yeah, everything on the person that you hold, with the date of birth and full name and national insurance number, I would like. That's why I asked, is it a freedom of information or is it a subject access request?
Subject access request.
Alright then, so that's what I now need to do. So, and a copy of the liability order. I need to know whose vicarious liability I'm going to draw upon, or commercial public liability, or even for reverse liability. Someone's passed an order for recovery through a direct earnings attachment. I need to know who's passed that, who's got liability of that order. Because
we contact your employer if you have a payment plan with us.
So there is no liability order. So you contacted.
You're using jargon which I don't understand.
A liability order is something in which is a legal template. It's a legal instrument in which instructs and allows companies to act on authority of said given authority, county court, magistrates court, things like that. So once a judge has got a complaint brought upon him under common law or contract law, he would then look at it and weigh up whether or not he's going to stamp that execution order or the litigation procedure for, or the warrant to issue authority to the corporation or the bailiff or anybody, the enforcement agent, to get collection. So as a consumer, as what I am to you, because you're a business, I am a consumer, and the Consumer Credit Acts and certain acts and legislation are applicable to help my person fight this. So somebody somewhere at the Department for Work and Pensions has asked for the authority to take direct earnings attachment. Now you're saying it's legislation and it allows my employer.
Well, you can put that in the request.
Yeah. Are they acting under the... I need to be specific, yeah. Do you have a liability order? Do you have a warrant? Do you have an execution? Or is it just an instruction under current legislation upon my person and contractual obligations for them to oblige your request? And if it's only an obligation, then that's where we stand, so... I will put all that in the request.
You lost me. I say put that in the request if that's if that's what you're asking. I'm just following what we're tasked with.
Court documents is what we need. Court docs or liability for this action.
We're not gone through the courts for this.
Right, because normally there's what you call an attachment of earnings, or this is a direct earnings attachment. I've rescinded and written into the company to you and served you notices and told you I've claimed my person. Mr. David Jeremita, he belongs to me and he's been claimed by me, and Theresa May didn't rebut my claiming through my statement of truth and affidavit. So under the trust law, I now am the interested third party to my person. Nobody can get access to it other than me or by my consent, and this is what I'm going to argue next. So thanks very much for your time, your help. I'm sorry to have been a pain. No contract or joinder was committed on this call. I did stop recording it, but the UCC 1-308 indemnifies me to perform under anything non-disclosed. And that's it for today then. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. See you later.
Yes.
Goodbye. Bye-bye. I talked to them in a little bit of legal terms, and I use the legal instrumentation, and I use UCC, and we'll get this sorted out, mates. It's no problem. They're only acting under liability anyway, so even if you do contract, you're only contracting to be that, and there's no to be your fiction, and there is no contract of liability, no court, no magistrates, no county, no anything. They're relying on legislation, which is down in the .gov. Legislation with employment law, contract law, but obviously I'm a consumer. If I'm viewed as a customer, instead of them being my employer, I'm being their employer, them being a civil public servant, they should be acting for the public, but they're not. They've turned us from being public into customers. So the customer has different powers to the public, but I am the living flesh, and I did not contract, and I use the Unified Commercial Codes to indemnify myself. Game changer, different angle. Let's see what happens. Thank you. Peace, love and light.